Hello, welcome to the Spanish Football Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Alex Kirkland. He's Sid Lowe, and he's
Hello.
off to the Cup final on Saturday.
I'm quite excited.
Barça, Valencia, in Seville, at the Benito Villamarín. Is it an exaggeration to say that this game could sort of define the seasons of both of these teams?
Well, it's curious, right? I think it defines the season for Valencia in terms of it makes a very good season, a fantastic season, a centenary year. They take a trophy, and you know there will be a sense that this is a huge achievement. With Barcelona, it sort of feels like it defines it more, because ultimately it's defined by the Champions League, right? But it sort of feels like it defines it more if they don't win it. In other words, if they don't win it, that will be enough to define this season as a disaster. If they do win it, it will avoid that rather than define it in a positive way.
It's a shame in a way to talk about it like that, because you feel like you should talk about it as the cup final, as the cup in itself, but you can't help but look at it in that context.
And in fairness, when the game actually starts, when it's going on, it will feel like an occasion, it will feel exciting, and if and when Barcelona win it, it will be celebrated like a title. But that thing of the Champions League will always be there, and not least, of course, because Messi made such a thing of it at the start of the season, made it clear and publicly a priority, and the way that they got knocked out.
He didn't come out and say, I want that Copa del Rey.
No, he didn't. Although they do want it, and by the way, it'll be a fifth in a row.
Okay, what kind of game do you expect to see then?
It's quite difficult to judge. I mean, on the face of it, at least, Valencia have a relatively clear structure in terms of how they play. They are, broadly speaking, a counter-attacking team, although I think there's a bit more to them than that. I think we'll see them play in a 4-4-2. I think we'll try and see them be relatively direct. But direct in Valencia's case doesn't mean the long ball. It means the ball move quickly through midfield and particularly to the wide areas, and then kind of trying to counter-attack from there. I think if they get everybody fit, I think that heart at the base of the team, Garay with Gabriel, Kondogbia, if he's fully fit.
Kondogbia saying today, I'm not going to be 100%, but maybe they'll.
Yeah, I think they would want him to play. Although actually Coquelin's played pretty well this year. Yeah. It was quite interesting being at the Valencia Arsenal game, and the Arsenal covering journalists saying, "Why do you think Coquelin is good?" And the Valencia journalists saying, "Because he is."
I mean, at Arsenal he wasn't, but
he has been, and so I think that kind of heart in midfield would make it quite difficult for Barcelona. I think that they'll be aggressive. I think they'll try and be tough. But you know, bear in mind they're playing their 60th game. Barcelona are playing their 59th. No one's played as many games as either in this year.
Oh no, and Barca are hit quite hard by it. Well, so Ter Stegen's not going to be involved.
I mean, he wasn't going to be involved anyway, in truth. But look at the injuries. Dembele doesn't make it. Suarez doesn't make it. Still not sure about Coutinho.
Coutinho's a doubt.
Waiting to see.
Maybe
so that means a scenario in which Messi scored 50 goals this season. You take away Coutinho, Dembele and Suarez, and your next top scorer, I think, is PK.
Listening to you in the last sort of week or so, you've sounded sort of like you might think that Valencia might win this.
I don't know what the mindset is with Barcelona. Now, obviously, look, you go on the pitch, you want to win, but you've watched the way that they've played these league games since, and they've won them. But it's kind of felt like they're sort of going through the motions a little bit. And Valverde said, look, it will be different in the cup. And on the face of it, of course, it should be. It's one last chance. It's a title, it's a double. It's true that Europe will kind of still play on your minds. It's still true that will still hurt. But this is a way of saying this has been a successful season. But I kind of feel like the momentum was with Valencia. The other thing as well, we're talking about the number of games that they've played, right? One person who hasn't played very many is Guedes, and Guedes will perhaps give Valencia the thrust, the directness, the speed. You know, I think it's 8 goals he scored in the 42 days since he's come back from injury, or I think it's 42 days since he's come back from injury. And I just wonder if the momentum is a bit with Valencia.
And especially with Guedes on the left, so going up against potentially Sergio Roberto. I mean, Semedo had a concussion, didn't he, the other day?
And we don't know if he's going to be fit, because there's a protocol there, which in theory means he does make it. But then, of course, if he comes back and only has one full proper training session, we don't know if he'll be there. I think this is by no means I mean, I think Barcelona are favourites just because they are favourites because it's Barcelona. But I'm not sure that it's anything more than 51-49.
Okay, well, look, the Spanish Football Podcast will be out on Monday in the usual places: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Acast, all of those places.
To put it another way, it'll be on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer.
Anywhere you want.
You can't just magic it from the sky, I'm afraid.
You do have to download it or listen to it in some form through an electronic device.
Yes.
But Phil and Sid will be talking about what happens in the cup final in our final TSFP of the season. But as always, for lots more bonus content, our end of season awards, our new TSFP Presents series, very exciting that.
Yeah.
Join us as a patron at patreon.com/TSFP.